Yes, it's a very beautiful Saturday morning right here in the studio with my guys. I have David as well, Ikechukwu, to talk this through. Welcome to the very sporting action around the world. And on the show today, this is the Weekend Sports. We'll be telling you everything that's really happening and also digging deep about the Nigerian Football Federation and how far they've come this day. And also there's the news about Chelle and his lads. All of these we'll be talking about on the show. So here with me on the show, I have Ikechukwu. Let me start with Ikechukwu, better word. And also before bringing David E on the show. Ikechukwu, great to have you. Good morning. Welcome to Saturday shows.
Good morning, Kizzy, and good morning, David. Good morning to our viewers.
Ike is not sounding like someone that woke up. It's a Saturday morning. You need to be agile. David, how do you feel?
You cannot be agile in this economy.
You cannot.
No, you cannot.
Okay, you can't be agile in this economy.
No, you
Where the energy?
But not the.
I'm saying don't chop the down.
No, it's a big Saturday morning actually. David, are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Good morning, Kizzy. Good morning, Ike, and of course to our teaming viewing audience. I want to say a very good morning to you. Another beautiful weekend to talk sports.
Yeah, big time getting to talk sports. So quickly, let's just delve into it just as it unfolds. There's the news about FIFA at this point in time expected to decide on a possible point and goal deduction of South Africa. After that one, they fielded in that night Teboho Mokoena in their 2-0 World Cup qualifying win over Lesotho despite being suspended due to accumulated yellow cards. But let's tell you, the Confederation of African Football CAF has clarified it will not intervene in the matter as it falls under FIFA jurisdictions. In a similar past cases, FIFA has penalized teams with 3-point and 3-goal deduction while concerns has been raised, particularly in Nigeria, about potential bias due to CAF President Patrice Motsepe's South African nationality. Now, CAF sources insist that FIFA will apply the rules, and then maybe we'll have to say this, how consistent would they be? Okay, welcome again. My name is Kizike, and we talk this now. Quickly, guys, let's have the Teboho Mokoena talk quickly, and let's delve into it. There's this talk ongoing at this point in time that there could be, I don't know where I'll use the word Ojoro, but I don't want to believe it's possible. I recall back in 2018, Shehu Abdullahi, it happened to him, and it took some months. But now, one source we learned that Nigeria, we carried the matter for head. With the report, say even before Lesotho point, say like this, say we want to talk and say they must deduct point. And if you look, you don't concern us, but we are in the group. But if you look at that group very well, you find out that you have Benin Republic and Rwanda ahead of Nigeria, 8-7.
Yeah.
Now, is there a possibility? Is there any way that you get how they want to presidency where this news will just stay past? So that's how carry go.
You know, first off, the fact that Patrice Motsepe is the CAF president.
Yeah, and the South African as well.
I already saw that hand of concern or no matter on that case.
Yeah.
But FIFA has come out to say, okay, if it's an offense, we'll investigate.
It's an offense.
So we would definitely get to do what is right. I like the fact also that Nigeria is also piling pressure. And of course, say anything when Nigeria don't pull out. When they carry enter social media,
but why, let's see, we'll talk about that point. But why is it Nigeria carrying the case so high?
Well, because that's the only slimmest of chance that might help Nigeria navigate that group to possibly winning it if they do the right thing. That big if, as it stands, only if this point is deducted, we of course will see South Africa be shortened of points, and Benin Republic and this other person Rwanda will be a bit close. Then, if Nigeria, everything I'm saying is that big if.
Yeah,
if Nigeria now wins their remaining games, you might now see Nigeria possibly take that lead. But as it is, I always say it, football is like biscuits. You don't know where it's going to
So let me put it to you and ask you this question. Are you saying rather that Patrice Motsepe can turn the table around? Is it possible? CAF president,
if he goes influencing that major decision,
a rule that has been stated by FIFA, the body governing the game, the whole world football.
So again, FIFA will be careful at this time because there have been several, cases of corruption and all of that amongst the FIFA delegates and all. So they'll be very careful to not want to be in that black book again. The rule is the rule. If you go against it, there must be penalty for you. And as it stands, that is what FIFA will want to stay with. Motsepe might try, but it's not possible.
He might try, but it's not possible. That's what David Edwin. So let's meet with Ikechukwu on the show. Ikechukwu, I want to say yes, Patrice Motsepe don't fit talk, just tell us about this one.
Okay, so when I first saw this news, the first thing that came into my head is was what are the odds? What are the possibility of the the points never been deducted. You know, but then the possibility is actually not there.
At all.
Consider the fact that over time we've seen this thing happen. It does not happen overnight. The point doesn't get deducted overnight. So it's not possible. Now, to the issue of if Musepe has the influence to actually overturn this, CAF had already stated clearly that they are not going to interfere. That's one. So it means the ball is in the court of FIFA. It has always been in their court to actually decide what happens. But my worry with this sort of thing is this, right? The rule clearly stated that if an infringement of this sort happens, right, the team in question, right, the team that, you know, the team whose right was infringed upon, in this case, which was Lesotho, has about 48 hours to actually file in the report, and 48 hours passed, Lesotho did not file in the report. So now I was asking a question, okay, does it mean that if they did not file in the report, does it mean that it is void? That's a very big question.
Yeah, that's a very big question.
That's where we start having issues. That's where the question should actually be. And now 48 hours is gone. We are now piling pressure. Why are we piling pressure? We fancy ourselves as the best team. We have, you know, the biggest boys in terms of character and exposure. So we know that with 7 points and 10 points South Africa, if that point get deducted, 3 points just to beat South Africa and head to head we are through. Right? Hoping that no other teams can actually win all of their games. This is why Nigeria is actually, you know, pushing. But the issue here is that Nigeria against Musepe in this case, because a lot of persons that, you know,
that's what it is.
Musepe is the, you know, is the image of South Africa. Of course, still the man who embodies CAF. Now, I don't think Musepe will want to come out knowing that
this case, right?
Because knowing that, you know, you remember the case between Nigeria and Libya. Amaju Pinnick actually gave him a vote of confidence. No worry, we'll do your back. So I think he owed Nigeria this one to actually stay neutral and allow things go. But again, CAF needs to, or FIFA really need to adjust that their rule that states that 48 hours. Because come on, you don't bring a condition or a clause like that and then people fail to meet it. I mean, in law, that's a ground for void, right? So why are we not having I mean, it's Nigeria, but then just flip the coin and imagine Nigeria is on this particular South Africa position. We should actually be pushing that, hey, I mean, 48 hours gone. If South Africa wakes up tomorrow and decides to say 48 hours gone, this guy is not fired. Every other team might not have done it. But if one person raises an alarm that, hey, we know we actually did this, you can find us, but then you cannot deduct our points.
But is there a possibility of us seeing this one not being, I mean, South Africans not being...
Not getting production?
It's a legal issue, right? Like I said, if you fail to file, according to FIFA, 48 hours, your lawyers can actually stand up and say, hey, they failed to file.
So, but they actually failed to file?
Yeah, obviously. So that's a ground. You can take it to court of arbitration. They will definitely fine South Africa for breaching the rule, but they will not deduct their points.
How?
But again, from where I stand is, the rule is the rule.
The rule should be the rule.
I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Not having a knowledge of the law does not mean there's the absence of that law.
Absolutely.
So
okay, doesn't make ignorance.
The law is what it states. If you play a player that is ineligible, you definitely will get point deduction, and that is just.
But they said 48 hours to file. If you did not file, that means
if FIFA is going to hold Lesotho for not filing and say, okay, because they did not file, let's let this slide. It will simply mean that FIFA is now complacent on her rule.
That's
now I tell you what makes me say so. Now, if it's another country, you are supposed to be the police of the football governing body, and as it stands, you now know that this happened, and then you want to play a blind eye on it. What does that spell for them?
Wait, David, see, this is a legal issue, right?
Legal or no legal?
No.
Was the crime committed?
Nobody is saying the crime wasn't committed.
Good.
Right?
Since the crime was committed.
All of us not thief. Now, that's why they catch be criminal.
Yes.
So right, until you're proven guilty, you are not a criminal, you're a suspect.
But there are footages of this person.
No, understand what I'm saying. Okay. There's a rule that says in 48 hours. Why did they give a rule for 48 hours?
You're against that rule.
No, I'm saying the rule should not be there. And
at all.
But if it is there, it should be applied.
So this one now is like a boiling letter to the FIFA.
Exactly.
To the FIFA.
Yes.
But let's bring it to reality. What will happen at the end? What do you think will happen?
This is me. Let me put myself in the position of the South African. Right. It happened that we've faulted. We've fielded in an ineligible player. Right. Now there's a case. We'll go through the law because FIFA is going to apply whatever it is through the book. Right. And then the book says 48 hours. Okay, let's put it this way. You committed a crime, nobody reports you. You committed a crime, nobody reports you. and then I commit a crime, right? And someone say, hey, this guy committed a crime. And then the both of you come out screaming, hey, and then I come out screaming, but this guy's committed a crime. The thing is this, right? If FIFA had said, once you do this and this, there's a window. A window was created to file in a report. I mean, okay, good. It's good we're having this conversation.
Right.
Electoral tribunal. They'll say 90 days, whatever it is you want to file in, you file in, right? No, David, no, true now.
Yes, they ultimatum placed.
Yes, 90 days. After 90 days, whatever it is you have makes no sense, right? Now, this is exactly almost the same case.
But you know, that's the reason why they're putting that.
That's exactly my point. There's a reason for that. So you cannot tell me you are putting a time and that time is useless. Why did you put the time?
All right, so that, guys, let's just get to the next one quickly. Yes, let's see how this goes. We're just hoping that at the end of the day, it favors Nigeria. How can it favor Nigeria just in one way? Let the will be done. That's just what is on the rule should be done. But the corner part of the field, and this one we could talk. Why did they not? Why did they not? They know. I don't know if it's about the connection, you know, Lesotho South African team, but I don't know. But let's really get to the next part now. It's so close to Chelle. Eric Chelle, the Super Eagles coach, disclosed to The Guardian, this is a paper right in Nigeria on Thursday morning, that the French-born coach has stated clearly that he would not condone moves by some stakeholders to interfere in the selection for the tournament, even as NFF President Ibrahim Musa continued to warn that the coach should be given free hands to pick his players. In other words, an insider within the NFF also confirmed that the top stakeholders have been scheming to ensure that their players get a call-up for the friendly. Their players, that was big. Now, the big news is that Eric Chelle has vowed to turn down moves by stakeholders to impose players on him ahead of the Unity Cup tourney. Now, the source also said, Chelle has vowed never to listen to anyone irrespective of their position. And then they went as far as saying, you will not believe he said he's prepared to stick to his guns over who to invite for that tournament, even if it means losing his job. Now, that same source also told us that Chelle is a very stubborn coach, and I think the stakeholders should brace up for Chelle's surprise. Now, anybody that hears this story or this news, right, I will be like, yeah, we're liking this one. This is what we want to see. Now, you would recall that one of the problems he had in the Malian national side, the FA, were almost trying to impose on him on who to get to play, and this man is saying no. Now, when the president was asked questions, he said, I don't even know when he resigned, when he left the job. Now, let's bring Eric Chelle back to the Super Eagles and say this. One question is asked, who are the stakeholders? I want to understand, is there a stakeholder and is there a committee?
People will get money. People will get money.
People will get money? Okay, so there are stakeholders, there is committee. Now, the only good thing about this news is that the NFL president came out to, I know that was come on himself inside, because
the honest truth is,
he said, let them give him hand. Who will let them? Now, he's want to give the power.
You don't expect the NFF president to come say, I'm going to support Chelle, I'm going to support. No.
Right.
He's going to play the neutral, just like Mosepe is trying to play the neutral with CAF.
Okay, now the question is this. Let's get it right. Who are the stakeholders?
Unfortunately, this Mr. Chelle does not even have a say.
He does not have a say. Wait. David, let's get it right. Now, according to a report saying,
yes,
you can get it. He's saying, I'm going to do what I need to do.
Let's not forget, the 2 games he prosecuted weren't his team. They select him for him.
How you want to know? Who tell you?
There's the technical team now.
Wait.
There's been a list before
now,
he came.
Do you realize?
So
okay,
he's going to say, okay, these guys are even the list I got are good enough. Yeah, they are good. Okay, let's have.
No, I will not agree with you.
But my point
I can agree on the part of the
interference.
Right.
I'm sorry, he cannot have a say on that.
He cannot have a say.
He can never.
So this one now, okay, it's
an African thing.
Where is this power coming from?
It's not an African thing. It's just a normal thing across the globe.
Okay, let's say it's right. I cannot recall the last time. This is a Frenchman, a man from the outside of Nigeria has this power to say and come and say it's not like a fighting against your employers, your employees, right? Now, Eric Chelle on this part now, waiting given the power now to the top. I like the news. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm in support of this. This is what we want to see. Fight the FAs if they are doing the wrong thing. But now this will give you a job. And now he's saying, I don't even mind. Don't tell me who to bring. I will see who I will bring in. Now me will be coach. And now guess what? The Unity Cup is for June. Trinidad and Tobago, Ghana, Reggae Boys of Jamaica, Nigeria 4. Now this is a tourney that he have to use in, trying. But this one I say, you are, so it means those stakeholders they react, but they get their own voice. No, you cannot laugh now. It means because this one is like, this is my boy, get him involved.
Why you not say suit?
Yeah. They don't wear suits. They really
no, the thing if you enter suit, you know.
This stakeholder.
You
sound like you know them well. Who are these stakeholders? You sound like you know. Who are these stakeholders that always say, "This is my boy, put him"? Because Ibrahim Musa could not come and say, "That means not among," but let him do the job. So who could they be, and why are they doing this? Can this help Nigerian football?
Okay, so I mean, these are Hydra questions, but let me take it bit by bit.
Because you know them well.
I don't know them. I don't know them.
Yeah.
Right. So now in footballing term, in this sort of scenario, when you want to look who are the possible stakeholders or people who fit into the character of being described as a stakeholder, people who are ex-coaches, people who are managers that have been in the around the Super Eagles, who've bring in some a lot of players at some point, people who are actually ex-chairman, ex-secretary general, ex-this, ex-that, ex-those, ex-this. Those people who actually have huge political influence, people who basically run the sport for the country. These are the stakeholders, the committees, the technical group, and all of that. Yes. Now to the question of if this is good for Super Eagles, it's good that we have a manager who can actually stand up to these bullies and say, you know what, I cannot do this. Now the question of why he's saying this, David, you're very right when you said the team we actually saw in the doubleheader were not his team. It was clear, it was evident that Chelle had no idea about that team.
No, of course, but what about the lineup?
See,
wait. Before he arrived, we all said it here.
Yeah.
He don't know this guy apart from the TV and normal. So it was ideal the NFF have to do it.
Yeah.
The only problem would have been if they continue the long run, or would be if they continue the long run. We know, I agree with you, but you cannot tell me that it was those same people that say take this, we'll start them.
No. See, Kiz, I understand what you're saying.
Right.
Now, if you look at that team, right, every sane manager will come into that team and look at your last 3 games and see the starters.
True.
So that's what he did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, what Chelle is doing now is as a result of that game against Zimbabwe, he was frustrated. Those guys actually, players are actually loyal to managers.
Okay, sorry. I want to hold on some part. I want to hold on the part where you talk about the start. It was not the same start. It was a different. Chelle turned the table around. A lot of people did not expect. Now, I'll tell you one of the reasons is Samuel Chukwueze got starts in some of those games. He has never been a starter. Yeah. Chelle surprised us when he played right beside Samuel on the line in one game, even though we know the house has flair. Yeah. So I would agree on the part that it was the same set, but the gameplay, that's where the manager comes in.
No,
different.
Kizzy, we're not even
not on that part.
We're not discussing the style of the team.
Okay,
we're not discussing the way the Super Eagles approached that game. We're discussing people who executed that game. Those guys are regular faces.
Yeah, no, of course.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not even discussing the style, whether he approached the game like a Guavon. No.
Okay.
I'm saying those guys are regular faces. Those guys are the guys that you will know that, okay, this one is a regular
Super Eagles. Must call,
That's what he did.
Right.
And got his selection.
He got his, for the 2 games.
Yes.
What I'm saying is this. Look at that team, right? Chelle understood, and every manager will understand that you need to command absolute loyalty. We know there are boys who want to play for the team. Right. Osimhen came back into that team, wanted to prove a point after the issue with Finidi Joy. We saw how he was fighting, like he had not played for the Super Eagles before. The rest of them felt so relaxed. They have this jersey. They will get called up any day, anytime. And now this is why, in as much as I see that this, 4 nation tourney has no, input.
You think so?
In this
for the qualifiers.
Yes, for the qualifiers.
Right.
But then I understand that this is going to give us a new set of team. This is where Chelle will say, okay, these guys have not played together before. These guys are actually going to stick their neck to actually fight for me and fight for their jersey.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is why I say, okay, fine. This tournament is going to be, an expose of new talent for Super Eagles.
Test round.
Exactly. So the issue with this particular thing is this, right? Chelle standing up to these guys is a very good one, but then it depends now on who is going to be backing him, because the problem is,
he needs a backup.
The problem with this sort of thing is this: when a manager stand up like this, it is good to have somebody that is strong that is backing him. You know why? It's going to help us keep a legacy. It's going to help us keep a project. It's going to help us tell bullies to back off any manager that comes in next.
Right.
Which is what, sorry to cut you, which was what made Westerhoff who he is till tomorrow.
Exactly, because he had
that major
express backup of the then head of state.
But the military, you know the regime at that point, you know how it was.
Yes, from the head of state. So that was why nobody could touch him. He could decide who will play for him and who.
But is that how it's supposed to be?
That's how it's supposed to be. The manager is supposed to be like a bird, free. Do what you want to do. If you're not good, we know you're not good.
Exactly.
If you are good, we know you are good. So because now you cannot, impose players on him and then blame him when the results fall short.
Which is what happens with every other country for now.
Right.
Also, Pasero's assistant came out. He was talking about, that particular game. He was talking about Trosekong, that he wasn't fit. That after the first game against Equatorial Guinea in the last AFCON, they discovered that this guy cannot play, as a double center back. They decided to actually bring in Calvin Bassey to actually, help him to play 3-man center back line.
Yeah.
That was what helped him through the tournament. And he came out like a million star.
Yeah,
right. Chelle would have discovered that if he had time to actually know these boys.
True.
Now, Chelle will not, at this point, will not come out and pick on the captain of the Super Eagles. But everybody knew that goal was his fault.
Right.
So the best way you could do it is to actually start a new team and then tell every other person to back off.
Okay. It feels like this talk is actually debating in the debate. Now, I know that we are supposed to be asking questions who and who should be invited, but this part where he's coming to stand against them, the stakeholders, does he hold any water? Will he work?
Just like you said.
Will he work?
Just like you said.
Who
will back him up?
That's the big question.
That's why I said. That's why I said it's not going to work.
You know people that can back him up.
That's why I said it's not going. I don't even know anybody.
It will not work.
I don't know anybody. That's why I said it will not work.
The only person that can back him. The only person is Amadi. And Amadi gets slots. Amadi go get slots.
That's where we go.
Wait. Because Amadi will have his slots, right?
Amadi go get slots. But he's the only person I see that can back him and say, you know what, no worry, I did your back. But if Amadi gets slots, him go say no. These are the questions.
So if you're going to say no, if you're going to say yes to Amadi, you should be able to say yes to a better person.
So, but if Amadi's slot is Osimhen, for example, it's going to make the job easy for him, right? Okay, Osimhen is my slot. Okay, fine, okay. But something we have to give. See, I don't mind, right? If the person that will back in say, okay, 2 players, I'm giving you 2 good players, and those guys are actually good enough. And then don't worry, I'll give you experience back in just 2 players. Because somehow, in politics, you have to compromise.
David, wait. I want to understand. These people are saying now it sounding like business, like market, like Alaba.
Is what it is?
Because wait, let's say it now. It's like you go, you know how you go buy jeans, original, maybe that 30K they tell you, but you get 22, they price them. It works because it's been like, what's the on this? Because I recall he said something like this morning. Yeah. This morning, on the show on radio, he also went as far as saying, he said, me, I'm very, very sure. He said, these boys are like this. I said, but how do you price it as business? Are we seeing people saying, okay, now we are saying, let's talk about it. Now, how can some saying test these boys and now you get national team? You cannot say take this boy and play him and use this boy for it's not done.
No.
It's just a part of the game.
No,
unless you're telling me it's Nigerian football, because I don't know it in Europe. I don't know.
Kizzy, this thing happens everywhere in the
world. If you don't know it in Europe, it's because you are not in Europe.
Kizzy, I'll tell you, this thing happens everywhere in the world.
You bring someone and say, give him a try.
Well, the way they actually
give him a try.
The way they actually do it might be different.
Yes.
But
how else can they do it?
I'll give you an example.
Please, I need to know.
The fact that you are the son of Paolo Maldini gives you an edge over any Italian footballer to actually walk into the national team.
Right.
That is what it comes
to.
Okay,
that is a different part.
Yes. So exactly. But he's not going to say play this guy. But because you know he's Paolo, you'll be seeing Paolo Maldini. You want to give him a chance.
Even though say no player.
All right. Let's get to the next one. These guys sound like politicians on the show. They say they do this for me. I don't know if they do, but what he's saying is actually right. Now let's get to Obafemi Martins, the Nigerian star player, former Super Eagles international. Martins Akinwumi has come out with a sterling verdict that no coach will be able to perform any magic with the current squad of the Nigerian national team. How true is this? Also, in an apparent reference to the decision by Nigerian Football Federation NFF to hire Franco-Malian tactician Eric Chelle to revive the Super Eagles World Cup qualifications, fading hope. But critics are already calling for his sack after just 2 matches in charge. When I told someone this, they said that's why it's Nigeria. I said, okay, hold it. Now, he stressed that changing coaches frequently is not a guarantee for good result. Everybody knows this. But let's get on the part. When they say no coach has the magic to change the national team, it means that the Nigerian football problem, team problem now, not football problem, team problem now is not the coach. But I like to say you must get a good coach.
Oh, well, yes, true. You must get a good coach because of the urgency at hand.
Right.
Nigeria needs to get to the World Cup. I mean, the last time that we not go, some of us were just wallowing in our houses instead of reporting the game. Now, here's another interesting part of what he said. Everything he said is hinged around what we said before now.
Right.
There is always this interference. A coach cannot just come and do his free will.
Wait,
sometimes,
are you saying all the coaches we've had, aside the West of none of them had the free will? Or let's say 96 squad, Buffy and...
I can put my remaining year's salary on it. None of them had their free will. It is just what it is. We know these things happen, not just in Nigeria, all across Europe and Africa. But my point is this. If we truly want to gain football like it is, we've not even identified the Nigerian style of play.
I think we're going to have it soon. We are working towards it.
From the national team.
Yeah,
what happens to the cadet football?
How about what?
What happens to the cadet football? Under 15s, under 17s? What style are we playing? Have we ever even graduated? A couple of days ago, we're laughing about the fact that some of our players are no more playing, and then their counterparts at a particular tournament are still playing the game. So, can we say we move a player from... I mean, look at Yamin Lawal. For Christ's sake, these are Andagula and the likes. These are young players that graduated. Aside 1, 2, 3 of our players that are in the national team, please tell me, which one came from the cadet football?
David, let's get it right. I like to ask you this question. I always ask, anytime I have an opportunity to have you guys on the show, I ask this question: can Nigeria make it to the World Cup? Well, you are among those that were saying just 6 games remaining, we'll win all our matches. Because the way Gechiko was saying it that time. Wait, we'll win all our matches. Now we have 4. No. If you ask him now, we win all our matches.
We win.
You see it. You see it.
I like this positive.
You see it. He didn't walk.
It's what it is.
Zimbabwe, he didn't talk. Zimbabwe control.
It was a major slip. And painfully, the Super Eagles know how to do this thing so badly. The point where you think they would have to come up even stronger, they go slower.
Can we make it to the World Cup? Like asking.
There's a possibility, yes, that we might.
How? With Eric Chelle and the set of boys.
From what
people are saying the way they are playing, they don't play like that.
I saw the first game. I'm going to stay with that first game, and I say without fear of
the Rwanda match.
The Rwanda game. There was this urgency. There was this.
It showed.
There was this sincerity of wanting to play for the team. There was this
in Kigali, away from home.
I don't know. It's just what it is. And then we came to you. Let's say we go come out your game. Maybe we possibly play in Lagos, where you know you play rubbish from one place, one plastic bottle.
So you advise violence.
If it's going to make you
no, please, that's not part of the game.
I did not advise it. I'm just saying if it's going to help your subconscious.
Do that.
If it's going to help your subconscious, wait, I don't do it. I don't do it. If it's going to help your subconscious, you say, if I play this rubbish now, somebody like Ezekiel they for style.
But I actually understand.
If you tell me pure water,
I understand what you're saying.
That subconscious will make you want to play well.
Okay, let me come back to you now. Obafemi Martins has come to say no magic can be done. No disrespect to every kid according to him, but he's just saying it's not about the coach, it's about these boys. And I'd like to ask you this question. People have picked out Osimhen, and they're always saying Osimhen just after Osimhen they call Lookman. And they are saying Osimhen is number 1. They say his mentality, the way he plays like there's nothing, this is just me, I'm giving my all. This set of boys, this talk that say there's no magic, how true can it be? There's no magic.
The thing is, he's actually speaking to the mentality of the boys. We've seen teams that are mediocre. Later, a coach stepped into the dressing room and they became championship winners.
Right.
I'll give 3 examples. The first is the Inter Milan side that won the Champions League in 2010.
Yeah.
I remember clearly before they actually won the UEFA Champions League. Jose Mourinho, season before that, he said that this team is so good that they need to lift the mental block.
Right. Ahead of time.
Yes, and then he helped them, psychologically, and then they moved away from that level of, we can't do it, and they did it. Again, another thing we will look at is the Leicester City championship winning side in 2014, Claudio Ranieri. This guy actually brought in Monks and co, put these guys to help them understand that, hey, see guys, you are not different from the Manchester United, the Man City and other teams. You are 11 players on the pitch. You guys can actually do it. And then we saw that team, they won the league. Right. In 2013, the big boss, Stephen Keshi, he brought in an unknown Godfrey Babuna from Sunshine Stars. Omero was quite young. This guy marshaled the defense against Ivorians. Drogba, Gavinho, Kalu, Nigeria defeated
against the odds.
Right.
So yes, that team, as at that time, I mean, we don't have real superstars that apart from Mikel, who was actually, one of the biggest players in Africa.
I mean, who knew Sunday Mba at the time?
So the likes of Sunday Mba, they also. In fact, Sunday Mba didn't get to even start the tournament. It was after the second game we saw him. So, again on Nati and co. What I'm saying is this. These guys had to fight because they know that there's somebody, looking, when they look at it, they see somebody who's going to take their jersey from them. Our players,
so that's competition.
Our players seem so relaxed.
Yes,
and that's the difference between what the Obafemi era was and this era.
Yeah.
They have a lot of players who can actually fight you.
Right.
I mean, JJ was so good, but we know that without JJ, there's a Christian Obodo, there's a Winston Oruma, there are players who can also okay, these guys are good. I mean, the Super Eagles once upon a time had a player in Sonny Olise, arguably the best defensive midfielder in Africa, and Pascal Karebo Jigwe, who was playing for Leverkusen at the point.
The German side.
So we have these two guys, and come on, without Olise, we have a player who is top quality. But today we don't have these guys, and these guys we have in the middle, and these guys we have in the defense, and these guys we have in the attack. All will just go to bed. And you know what? It's just one of those games. Now, Obafemi Martins is actually speaking from that point, knowing that okay, bringing any coach, if you don't change the mentality of these boys, nothing's going to happen. And that's why I'm going to reference again this furniture Tony. Chelle wants to bring in his own thing.
He wants to do his thing.
Yes, he wants to do his own thing. Yeah. Now, trust me, if he's going to stay 2-3 years or 2 more years, you see that a lot of these players in this national team that will look at this one is not good. Without step
they will shape up
or they will leave.
Yes.
So you mean that Chelle's in the right path?
Absolutely.
You like what he's trying to do
with this.
Hopefully, if he's going to get that space.
I'm also one of. If you look at our games, let's be very honest with ourselves. You see that after the Nations Cup, the games that we've played, I'm going to talk about somebody now. Yes, we know that he's had incidents with his parents. I'm talking about Nwabali. He's had incidents with his parents, but you know that he is not the same person after the AFCON.
Yeah, there's change. Yeah.
There's a bit of I'm relaxed now.
No competition here. This is me.
Exactly. So these are the problem. What kept?
I think it's the mentality.
Exactly. What kept Yama at the peak of his power was we had Osimhen.
Ejide was so good.
So good that Ejide would have been our number one. Would not even worry.
Exactly.
Yes. Right. And also there's a delay. So we had goalkeepers who can actually fight for fight you for your jersey. Exactly what the problem is today. Give one by another 2 seasons and you start complaining, you start saying Francis Zor in him.
All right. What did you say? All right.
That got you wrong.
All right. Let's get to the next part now. Quickly, we're not dwell on this one, but let you know, Sadio Kumar named best January signing in Spain by 2 journalists. Renowned Spanish journalist Guillem Batluk has hailed Nigerian striker Sadio Kumar as the best January transfer in La Liga since joining Valencia on loan from Real Sociedad. Sadiq had played a pivotal role in the team turnaround, scoring 5 goals in 12 games. The equals have been crucial, including the late equalizer against Villarreal. I think he's doing well for himself. The goals in the score now, the flick. This guy, you wouldn't know if he's fast or not, but he just got that presence. And quickly leaving Sadio Kumar on stock, let's get on to Victor Osimhen at this point in time. Victor Osimhen continued his his red hot form, scoring his target goal of the season to help Galatasaray cruise past Konyaspor 4-1 in the Turkish Cup. Victor Osimhen, the man with the man with the tinted hair. Now I like to see that tinted hair for the time. Follow goal from Lucas Torreira. Even my friend Jerry knows that he needs to change it because Osimhen is good in what he does. Now, further goals from Lucas Torreira, a brace by Roland Salah and a late strike from Yusuf Demes, still the dominant win. Now, the victory boosts Galatasaray place in the final and keep their hopes alive. Now, without wasting so much time about Osimhen, guys, let's say this, Osimhen, both Man United fans, you guys are United fans, let's get on this talk point. We just learned recent reports stating that Man United, first of all, the report we learned was the fact that Osimhen's story with Man United at this point in time, they want him. His release clauses, we know, but at this point in time, it's a no-go area. It's not a Man United move anymore. He won't be coming to Man United. He was saying, according to the report we learned from the Seki Dane, that's from the Turkish outfit, saying that Victor Osimhen coming to Man United is a 2-ball games in the sense that Man United, if they make it to the Champions League, he wants to play Champions League football. But just some days back, now the latest of them all is Marcus Konya of Wolverhampton, the big player. The guy not saying good. The way he plays, he has a proud play, but he's a very good player. But now, is he coming in as a number 9? Rashford Hoyland, because at Wolverhampton, at Wolves, we are saying Marcus Konya playing as a free role. Strandsen Larsen plays a number 9 role. Now he can play as a number 9 at Atletico Madrid. We see him play that role. But at this point in time, Matheus Cunha wants to come to Man United. Whether we go Champions League or we no go, because I won't come. But for Osimhen, that's a strategy. But let's face on our own very player, Osimhen. What's the next fate for Victor Osimhen, David?
I personally would have loved that Victor Osimhen goes to a more potent club.
Champions League football is what he wants.
Champions League football, yes. And for me, 2 of the clubs that comes to mind is Arsenal Football Club. In fact, I would love him to go to Arsenal.
Why not Chelsea?
Chelsea does not look like that club that might want to make Europe.
I'm just looking at the possibility of clubs that want him, because at this point in time, clubs are just watching.
But again, if you ask me, for the pride of the press, Osimhen will be amazingly hitting all of the headlines every other week in the Premier League. So that would keep him in one of the clubs, either of Manchester United or Arsenal. But as it stands, Delap, Cunha, Manchester United, they are just
the lab is even in the news. The lab is 40 million release clause, that's his pay. But he's in the news. It's like a backup.
Then
option.
they carry the 2 of them. The 2 of them no go pass.
Now, that's not what you want.
No.
But who? The lab and who?
And Cunha.
No go pass how much?
No go pass 80, 90 million.
Oh, 80, 90 million. Delap,
by negotiations.
Cunha's deal is 62.
62.
The
lab might not be more than 30 million.
No, you have to
by
pay that.
negotiation.
It's 40.
I'm just saying by negotiation. They might just do 30. But what I'm trying to say in essence is this. Osimhen is not looking like he's going to Manchester United. But I would love him to be in the Premier League where all of the headlines that would help his future better.
Oh, future better.
Yes.
Okay. Come, let's talk about it. Okay, we celebrated Osimhen when he turned down a move to Saudi Arabia because he said yes, this is a Nigerian player that knows what he wants for himself. He's 26. Now let's get on the part of Man United and which other club. Let's start with Man United. Amorim. Osimhen's gameplay. He's always a box guy. The guy that play ball. I don't know that in head. Osimhen is like the best header in the world for now. The best header in the world for now.
Header.
No, I think Ronaldo's slow. Osimhen is struggle with head. Wiki. I'm not lying. Like it's on the head now. I've talked about
it's really been potent with the head.
Yeah. So Amorim, Osimhen. Would Osimhen walk into that Amorim style of play, that pattern? Is Man United the perfect fix for Osimhen? Let's start with that first.
No, not the perfect.
Not the perfect.
No, not the perfect fit.
Really?
Osimhen at this level has grown past a player who will join a team on transition. A team that is trying to build a project. Osimhen is not young anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, if he were to be 24, perhaps we'll say, okay, but then United.
So he needs already
he needs a team. Chelsea is far better.
Perfect.
Chelsea's project kicked off already. They seem more stable. So yes, he can join Chelsea if Chelsea eventually make it to Europe, which I want to believe they should be able to actually make the top 5 at the end of the season. So that's what I would say as regards to Man United would have been a good fit for him if the club were to be more stable than this, and of course if because of the global appeal that United has, But then for now, our advice to Osimhen, United is actually not that place because we're not even certain Amorim is going to stay beyond next season. United is so unstable.
It's possible Amorim might leave.
United is so unstable.
Is it possible Amorim might leave?
With the way the club is currently run, you cannot put your money on.
If Amorim wants to leave, I like to say if he wants to leave, that's his can. I can't wait to wear that white can. Yeah, maybe they give me. But yes, guys, we need to go at this point. But let's leave you with some top stories. Liverpool poised for Premier League title party with Tottenham clash, and you already know that one. April 27, and also Champions League react hate Arsenal on the news, and what have you. But quickly, let's ask this one. Games are playing for the weekend. Today is Saturday, so we'll be seeing games that will play: Chelsea, Everton, Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle, Ipswich, Southampton, Fulham, Wolves, Leicester. And for Sunday, which is tomorrow, Bournemouth to play against Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal. These are the big games we'll be seeing. But guys, before we leave, I'd like to ask you this question: will Liverpool win the league next season?
Next season, I don't think so.
Will they win the league next season?
It's going to be a dicey one because the team is presently trying to rebuild.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for coming around the show. Thank you so much. Yes, it's on me to go. This is the Weekend Kickoff Show. My name is Kizzy K, and yes, we'll be back again on your TV, hopefully for Monday, God willing. Yes, I am the only football player without a jersey. I'll see you again. Safe.